Come do makeup with me while I talk about things that I do and no longer do as I get closer to my 30s. Come on, girl. Getting back cool with people without discussing why we stopped being cool in the first place. No. If we're going to get back cool or start back talking, we need to discuss what took place to make us stop being cool. Because if we don't, we might run into that issue again. I don't care how uncomfortable the conversation is, the conversation needs to happen. So, non-negotiable. Coaching. I'm not about to coach you. I'm not about to coach no man. No. You know what to do. I don't have to tell you what to do. I never wanted to be a coach, and I'm not going to stop now. Like, indulging in habits or going to environments that stagnate my growth. Like, if I'm trying to grow from something or I'm growing from something, I'm not going to go places or do things that could possibly revert me back to what it is that I'm trying to grow from. I just feel like that's kind of defeating the purpose. If you know that you've grown from something or you're trying to get away from something, don't do anything that could possibly set you back. Speaking up for myself. Like, I had this idea in my mind that, like, speaking up for myself was a form of confrontation. Like, no, you speak up. Say what's bothering you, especially if you're going to allow this person or this situation to continue to be in your life. Speak up. Now, if you by means, don't plan on allowing this person back into your life, then yeah, just kind of gracefully move away from it. But if you know that this person or this thing is going to continue to be in your life, if something is bothering you, speak on it. That's not confrontational. And to piggyback up off of what I just said about speaking up for yourself, if you're in a situation so where you feel like you can't speak up for yourself, whether it's a relationship or a friendship, without it being confrontation, you should rethink whether you should be dating this person or even cool with this person. If I feel like I can't speak up, without it being confrontational, maybe we shouldn't even be dating. Maybe we shouldn't even be cool. Like, that is not speaking up or being afraid to speak up is a form of self-abuse. I had to learn to categorize people. Like, that is a must do. Like, because you don't want to be holding an associate or like a homegirl to like a friend standard. Like, everybody needs to be categorized. Like, is this just a coworker? Is this a friend? Or is this just an associate? Because when you start to get it confused and conflicted, you start holding people to standards that they really shouldn't even be held to. So categorize people. Like, figure out, is this your friend? Is this your associate? Is this just somebody that you know from social media? Like, everybody needs to be categorized so it won't be no confusion. Being naive. Like, I didn't realize how naive I was. My mom, she didn't shelter me, but she protected us from a lot of things. So I did not have to experience a lot of things growing up. So I guess that kind of made me green to a lot of things. I never thought the worst. I always thought the best of things because I didn't really go through like tragic things because my mom protected us so much. So I had to learn to stop being so naive. Like, if you think that will happen, if that makes sense. Like, don't think it won't happen. Think it'll happen. Being an open book. I had to learn to stop being an open book because I thought me being an open book was a form of me showing how real I was, not holding back, being completely honest about everything. I feel like, that was me being transparent. But like, the older I get, the more I realize, like, you don't have to share everything. Like, you don't have to share everything. It's okay to leave out some things. Like, everybody not rooting for you the way that you're rooting for them. And sometimes energies can't be controlled. So, yeah, some things, keep it to yourself. Being so understanding. Like, it's okay to be understanding, but being understanding needs to have some type of limits, like, and boundaries to it. And that's another thing. Not having boundaries is just having boundaries is a non-negotiable at this big age. Like, I'm 26. Like, if you don't have boundaries, like, you need to sit down and think about what's a non-negotiable, what's a boundary that you can stretch, and what's some boundaries that you can't. Because if you don't have boundaries, like, everything, your life will be chaotic. Like, if you have boundaries, you won't even have to think about, like, hey, am I gonna cut this person off or not, or am I gonna deal with this? Because you already know your boundaries. You already know, oh, this is non-negotiable. She gotta go, he gotta go. So sit down and think about what you will allow and what you won't allow. You know, telling people what I'm insecure about. Like, granted, you should have like a safe space to where you can, you know, talk about certain things, but for the most part, keep your insecurities to yourself, because people will try to play and manipulate your insecurities and things that you're soft about. Like, people will really try to play on your mental. Like, y'all don't, like, you gotta really grow, mature, and start to evaluate how people think and operate, to know that telling people like your insecurities is a form of letting people, like, giving them leeway to like manipulate you in a way. Like, I don't know, proving your side of the story, it doesn't even matter. Like, it's cool. Like, as long as you know that you did the right thing, or as long as you know that you did what you were supposed to do, like, proving your side is just not something that needs to be done. Like, it's okay for people to think that you're a villain, because everything comes to the light. Like, I'm just not big on proving that I'm a good person. I used to have it like really bad, just trying to prove like, oh no, I did do the right thing, or oh, I was right, or oh, I am a good person. I don't care. Think what you want to think. I don't care. I really don't care. Give yourself grace, but hold yourself accountable. Like, it's okay to mess up, but how many times you gonna keep messing up? Like, you know, like, it's give yourself grace, but hold yourself accountable too. Like, there needs to be some type of accountability and discipline in place, so you won't continue to do the same things. Whether that's, you know, dealing with a man, whether that's losing weight. Like, at some point, like, yeah, give yourself grace. It's okay to mess up, but like, don't keep using grace as an excuse to keep not reaching a goal. Does that make sense? And this is something that I'm really still working on, being on time. Like, the older I get, the more I realize, like, being late is like really rude, and it's not cool. And just, you know, it's not cool to be late. So that's something that I'm still working on, being on time to things, and making sure that you're giving yourself enough time to be on time, especially if it's somebody else's event. Like, be on time. Dealing with people that don't like you, whether it's a man or whether it's a friend. Like, if I'm in a space where I feel like you really don't like me, but you're tolerating me, you need to move around. And it doesn't matter if it's a man or a friend. Like, if you go around somebody and you hang out with somebody and you feel like an outcast, you should not be hanging with them. Like, stop hanging with people that don't like you for real, that just like your energy, or just like what you can do for them. No. Making myself a victim. No more. Like, I had to stop doing it. Like, everybody goes through things. Everybody gets depressed. Everybody, everything. So stop making yourself a victim. If you don't like something, then change it. If you don't like your weight, change it. If you don't like the people that you're hanging around, change it. You're in control. You're in control. Pointless conversations. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, especially with a man. Like, no. And last but certainly not least, giving God my time. Like, include God in your everyday. Give God your time the way you would give a man your time. Like, whether that's reading your Bible, whether it's going to church, whether that's like helping in just give God your time. Like, I can't tell you how to give God your time, but me, I go to church. I make sure that when I'm in church, I'm paying attention. I make sure what I learn in church, I try my hardest to apply it to my everyday. I spread, you know, what I learn, you know, to other people. So give God your time and become the best version of you, and become the best version that God has put you here to be. thank you for getting ready with me, y'all.